out on an administrative Tuesday, and let me tell you, this heat, this is the hottest I think it has ever been um, out here in Western Kentucky. You know what it feels like when you walk outside? It feels like you're being wrapped in a blanket, a hot, thick blanket that's keeping you hot. And outside of the hot, thick blanket, you got a warm fire going. It is 95 degrees. It don't feel like that. It feels much worse than 95 degrees. But, it just got me to think it just make sure that, you folks out there, especially on other people that are on homesteads as well. A lot of people, it's very expensive to get, uh, regular AC or anything like that. Now, I understand, I get it. I'm out, in a homestead myself. However, I try and make sure that we have, and I, and I gotta match the solar system that I'm going to get to include powering of the AC. I'm going to need at least 1,500 watts of continuous power to keep the AC running. That's serious. But I feel, uh, in my home that is necessary because I'm telling you, man, it can be very detrimental if you're not being hydrated, if you don't have access to clean, good drinking water, if you don't have a nice, well ventilated area. It can be dangerous to yourself and to children. Make sure that you are drinking, drinking plenty of good water. Me, myself, I do a terrible job and I probably drink a cup or two a day, but not that I eat much anyway. I can get by on a meal a day. I've never had a very big appetite. So when I eat, I try and ensure that the meal is good and it's large because I just don't have a real big appetite. That's how I've always been. But this heat is serious. Make sure that you're doing what you can. Ice packs. Even if you have a freezer, right? You can take ice packs, the blue ones, and just use that to keep a nice rag over that thing if you even have access to a freezer or something like that, and just use it to dab your face. It's expensive, either way, even with the AC, with the prices of everything going up. But it's important to ensure that you are keeping cool any way that you can. And, it's vital. It's very difficult to concentrate or focus on getting things done if you are uncomfortable, if you just constantly hot or you just constantly cold. It's very difficult to maintain a certain sense of damn sanity. You wonder to this day how in the hell did slaves endure that? Because I guess they had to, and I guess people will have to, and people are now because they got no choice. They have no resources, and it goes back to I was looking at these posts on Facebook where you have black folk living in shacks in the 1930s and the 1940s or 1950s. These old shacks. You see a mother and a son, or a mother and a daughter, or family in a shack, a small shack, and then you went into that shack. You saw a small wood stove off in the end, but that was it. They just lived in that one room shack. The family, the children, the entire family, and they had a small wood stove in the corner. And it's so ironic because we're going back to that today. This is how people are going to be living now and in the near future. But those who can, if you have ability, I mean, I ain't gonna be no hypocrite, man. I mean, that's important, to making sure. It's so cute to see my youngest daughter, talk about weather or talk about it's cold or it's hot or something like that. But they out there, they know how to turn on that well water. They turn on that hydrant and they fill that pool themselves, and I let them, and they splash in that thing and they get cool. That's what the beautiful thing about well water is, that because it comes out the ground cold. I mean, anybody that's been on well or has been on well water or are on well water in your well, that water comes out the out the springs. It come out the ground cold. So it's an excellent way of keeping cool. Even if you don't have AC, if you have a well, man, that produces some, at least mine does, it produces some cold water. So, it's important to have these things, not only for your, it's not even a comfort issue, it's a sanity issue. I mean, it's very difficult to work and to build in extreme heat or extreme cold when you have no way to heat yourself up or cool yourself down. So it's important. And then you got winter coming. I mean, you see the prices of propane. Ooh, could you imagine paying $5 a gallon gas, and then turn around and pay $5 a gallon in propane? Could you imagine that? On minimum wage. Could you imagine that? I'm telling you, man, this is serious. Get things in order. If you can't afford AC, get them ice packs. I mean, if you got enough to, have a freezer, put them ice packs in the freezer and keep yourself cool like that. Anything that you can, do. Because I'm telling you, man, this heat is dangerous. I mean, you just can't be in a situation, you can die. It should be taken very seriously. Do what you can to stay cool. Take care of your families. If you can, invest in things like this. Solar, that's why it's so important. A well, you can get good, clean, cold water from there, and the children can get a little pool or something. And, they sell pools at the dollar store for $5, $6, $10 pools. Fill that thing right up with water and y'all good to go. But these are things that can't be done off grid. But you gotta have the infrastructure. You gotta invest in the infrastructure. Nothing in life comes for free. Nothing is going to be free. You're gonna have to invest in that infrastructure. Now more than ever with inflation, it's gonna cost money. That's another video. But, it's becoming increasingly more expensive for people to even move. I'll talk about that